Yo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, Ron. I'm on IG right now. So, tap into the IG. Melissa, what up? Jan, what up? Hmm? Hmm? Yes, yes. So, yo, Conversations of the Heart, episode 8 with my guy, Ron. What up, boy?
What's going on, bro? Can you hear me? You can hear me good on both? We ain't got no feedback?
So far, so good. So far, so
All
good
right,
on my end.
smooth, smooth, smooth.
Yes, sir. So yo, listen, man. First, I just want to thank you again for doing this with me, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely, we're gonna get into it, but we're gonna try to keep this to an hour this time. Um, and if we have to go to a part two, then we can do that. You know what I'm saying? Next week. So I definitely appreciate you. So for those who don't know, man, Ron here, he's an actor, a mentor. He's a youth advocate. He's an artist. He's a rapper, and he's a creator. Does so many different things, but of all, he's a definitely solid brother, man. So salute to you, and thank you for always being available to do this with me, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I know we were supposed to do this maybe like 2 weeks ago. Circumstances didn't
Yeah.
work out or whatever, but, here we
Hmm.
go. Here we
Yes,
are.
sir. Oh man, always a good time to unpack with you, man. So man, the title of this is really just let's unpack, right? But before we do that, I want people to know where they can reach you. Tell them what you do, the films and things like that, man. Just let them know who you are.
You can easily find me on Facebook, Instagram. Facebook, full name, Ronald E. Smith II. Instagram is my hip hop name, YRES, Y underscore RESTS
Hmm.
NYC. A lot of people always ask me, where does the YRES come from? It's a name given to me by my older brother before he got incarcerated when I was younger.
Mm.
It's literally the first letter of every part of my name. So RESTS, Ronald Edward Smith II. So, yeah, find me on both of those. A number of projects that are about to come out. I still have this film Beater. We're in like 5 different festivals right now. So as soon as this festival run is over, definitely look for that one. Um,
Hmm.
I'm beginning, come May, I'm shooting a different film, Friday and Friday. It's a buddy cop film, which is a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean? I don't get to play the funny roles too often.
I know
Um,
you always in serious mode.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's definitely a fresher breath air. Outside of that, you can definitely go on YouTube, watch Bittersweet series. I'm out here. You know what I mean? And if
Hmm.
anything,
Hmm.
shit, just DM me. Fuck, I'm out here. You know what I
My
mean?
man said, my man said, slide in the DMs right quick.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Slide in. It's all good.
Shout out to Trice Man on Facebook. Appreciate you, yo. Yo, let's just dive right into it, bro. Last time we kind of had this kind of conversation, man. It hit home for a lot of people, and
Yeah,
a year later, well, less than a year later, but people are still going through things. People are still grieving daily. Sometimes people just think that grief is just about death, and it's not. People grieve daily for various
yeah,
different reasons. It could be the loss of a job, could be what they're seeing every day on social media. It could be for various different reasons, man. So I thought it was important that we kind of revisit this conversation, especially two brothers, just revisit this conversation to have a conversation on just the importance of just unpacking um, our grief, right?
yeah,
Unpacking, things that we go through on a daily basis, deal with our mental health, depression, anxiety, just things like that, because people still think that that's just like something that we don't go through.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Especially as men, but as a people though,
yeah.
we're all going through something, bro. So, so tell me, just give me one of your best practices, bro, on how do you deal with kind of just like grief on a daily basis?
So I'm gonna answer that question, and I know you're not used to people doing this on your show. But before I
Hmm.
get into that, I want to check in with you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You, my bro, we've done it before. So on
Hmm.
a scale from 1 to 10, across mental, emotional, and spiritual, how are you?
Man, as a whole today, I'm about an 8.5.
Okay.
Feeling good today, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're right. That's another thing. A lot of times people don't check. People don't take the time to check in because, especially just like you're somebody that people go to,
Yeah.
right? You're the one that people always go to for just certain things. It could be for inspiration, for guidance, and things like that. And people do check in. Forget to kind of check in with the person who always checks in on others. You
You
know
know
what I'm
what I
saying?
mean?
So appreciate that, though. I
Yeah,
appreciate
so
that.
hold up. My bad. Hold up. What does that say? Best you made possible? The lack of love in the world breaks my
Hmm.
heart. Definitely agree with you. Definitely agree with you. But yeah, that's good.
Hmm.
I'm happy that you at an 8.5. You know what I mean?
What? Oh, and what about you, bro?
I'm at about a 7.58.
Okay.
I've been life is pretty good right now, but I've been
Hmm.
beating myself up about certain things. You know what I mean? I've
Yeah.
been and that's just one of the bad habits that I have. Beating myself
Hmm.
up constantly, just being hard on myself. So I'm at
Right.
like an 8 because I haven't been as nice to myself as I should. So
Hmm.
so yeah, I'm at like a 7.58.
I think it's very important, what I'm saying, for us who are always hard on ourselves to also to give people the same grace that we give ourselves.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I think for a lot of us, we have an unlimited grace for others because we want to help and assist. So we're always giving people grace, and but I think it's very important that we give the same grace that we give ourselves. I mean, that we give to other people. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
definitely, bro, just give yourself a little bit of grace, man, for real.
yeah, most definitely, most definitely. So I mean, like I said, I'm definitely going to be working on that. The first step is recognizing what you're doing, and then the second
Hmm.
step is taking action toward it. So I
Right.
recognize it. I recognized it earlier today. I'm like, damn, yeah, I need to be
Hmm.
nicer to myself. You know what I mean? But to go back to
Hmm.
your question about grief, um,
Yeah.
you said it perfectly. Grief doesn't just have to deal. A lot of times when people think about grief or grieving, they think about the loss of a loved one or something like that, someone that's
Yeah.
close to you. But if we
Hmm.
think about it in the sense of something that's close to us, you know what I mean? I know
Hmm.
because of COVID, the pandemic, and everything like that. I left my job right before the pandemic hit. I'm
Hmm.
sitting here like, all right, cool. I'm just going to focus on my acting. Acting is going to pay the bills. It finally got to the point where acting was paying the bills.
Hmm.
And literally, I want to say within a month, COVID happened, everything got shut down. And I felt like I lost my career, this career that I've been working on since I was 15,
Hmm.
this this career that I put in so much work for, I felt like I lost it because
Hmm.
everything got shut down. And I
Hmm.
did go through a grieving process, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And like most men do, I suffered in silence for a long time. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I was going through this grieving process, but I wasn't reaching out to my homeboys. I wasn't reaching out to my friends. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I didn't vocalize it, but at the same time, at first, I didn't even realize what was happening.
Hmm.
I didn't realize what was happening until I spoke to my therapist, and she put it in a certain language for me to understand. And it's like, okay, wow, I completely
Hmm.
understand now. But
Right.
it took it took me opening up to someone, even if it's, for me, it was my therapist. That she's the one that
Hmm.
threw the flag up and was like, flag on the play, this is what you're going through. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But it wasn't until I want to say maybe 8 months after COVID hit where I actually started opening up to some of my friends. You know what I mean? I see
Right.
Cord is on here, my best friend
Hmm.
Cordell.
Yeah.
He and we've been best friends since we were 8. He lives like 10 blocks away. And when I told him what was going on with me, what I was going through, his
Hmm.
initial response was like, well, why didn't you just call me? Like,
Hmm.
why didn't you just pull up? But at the same time, as men, we don't always do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's one thing for
Right.
me to even sit here and say, yo, listen, bro, this is what I'm
Hmm.
going through. But at the same
Right.
time, it's another thing to say, yo, bro, this is what I'm going through. I need you to love on me a little bit right now. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like I need you to, what I'm saying, love on me. I need you to be my bro. I can't just call you my bro. You know what I mean? And the fact that his initial response was like, yo, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you come see me? You know, that was the wake up call. Like,
Shout out to
I'm
Cordell.
when I'm with my brothers, or with my,
Hmm.
when I'm around my brothers and everything like that, and they ask me how I'm doing or anything, it needs to be that honest question. I mean, it needs to be that
Mm-hmm.
honest answer of, you know what, I'm at like an 8. I'm at like a
Mm-hmm.
7.5. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
us as men, especially as black men, we'll I'm good ourselves into an early fucking grave. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
So we also on the Facebook Live too. So Trice Rain says that she loves to see brothers taking control of their mental health. Hey, what's up, Pam? So the topic tonight is really just unpacking trauma, depression, and things like that. So you mentioned therapy, bro. This is it. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Um,
okay.
Therapy is for men too. You know what I'm saying? It's not just relegated for just one gender. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm glad that you mentioned therapy and you mentioned that you don't have, like, that you're not really ashamed to say that you're going to therapy, bro. Because that, especially in our community, that's always just nah. Like, you can't go to therapy. Something's wrong with you. You're a psychologist and this and that. Like, it's something that you know we all should be talking about.
Yeah,
It's something that, man, to be honest with you, if some of our foreparents, you know what I'm saying, grandparents, great grandparents with therapy, we could have started breaking down those barriers from a long time ago. You know what I'm
you'll
saying?
never lie.
And those generational curses, those generational dysfunctions, you know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah,
you know, I grew up in the church and stuff like that. I know you was involved in the church, but I feel like a lot of times, like, you can't just pray everything away. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are doctors, there are therapists, there are just things that um, that are made available to us. You know what I'm saying? That we could all take advantage of. And it doesn't mean that we're less of a Christian or that we're less of a man or a person if we go seek help. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So, I'm glad that you definitely shed some light that you've been in therapy. I've been in therapy. I've been to therapists too. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And it helps. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I journal too. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that a lot of people really don't really do nowadays, right? It's really just sit down, you know what I'm saying? Like you're an artist, so you might write down rhymes and stuff like that. Me, I write down just my thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Just get things out. Like if
yeah,
there's not somebody to talk to at the moment, something like that, yo, I wake up in the morning, clear my thoughts, yo, this is how I'm feeling.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And it's just getting those feelings out, getting those feelings out, just getting those emotions out. It's super important to unpack these things every day because people suffer every single day for just various different reasons, right? Um, and there's a shame factor that comes with therapy as well, right?
yeah,
Like there's a shame that comes with, oh, like to say like, oh, I might need a little bit of help. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many people that are functioning people that are depressed. We think that depression looks like this because then you want to say, oh, like what's wrong? Depression looks like this. Hey, how you doing?
yeah, yeah,
You good? I'm good.
absolutely.
Great. Everything is great. You're laughing and you're joking with everybody, but you're crying on the inside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But you're tormented on the inside.
yeah,
And these are things that it's just a lot of people are functioning depressive people.
yeah,
And that's something that because it's like, you know what, I push through, push through, push through it all, push through. And to me, just because you push through, you're not addressing the problem.
yeah.
That's just my opinion, bro.
No, no, no. I mean, no, you're absolutely right. But the thing is, like, one of the things that I always have to keep in mind that I encourage other people to keep in mind, the the world that we're growing up in now is
Hmm.
so different and unique to what our parents grew up in and what they raised us in, the world that they prepared us for. The world that
Right,
we live in today, people didn't see happening not even 20 years ago. You know
right.
what I mean? The world that
Hmm.
we live in today. No one expected men to be open about mental health and the things that they're going through. Nobody expected men to start holding each other accountable. No one expected, for us to have the influx of black marriages and black relationships that we do now. No one expected us to be as financially literate as we are now. Like, there's so many things that have changed within the black community, within us as a world, and you know what I mean? Like, this was never expected. So, like, I think about the
Hmm.
world that I was prepared for. Yeah, I did pretty well for the world that I was prepared for. I was prepared for
Right.
the world where I'm not going to say that I'm feeling upset. I'm not going to say when I'm feeling, sad. The only expression I'm going to show is anger because it helps prove my dominance. It helps me to impose my, my being on things or people or whatever. You know what I mean? So when it
Yeah.
comes down to the world that I was prepared for, I've done great. But now with the world that we're living in today, we have to unlearn so many different things.
Everything.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about, a lot of time, every time we have these conversations, I bring up, my baby brother. You know what I mean? And he teaches me so many. He's only 6, but he teaches me so much in regards to the things that I need to unlearn. You know what I mean? Like, one of the things most recently that really came to mind is that, a lot of times as children, our first bullies are our older siblings, family members and things of that nature. The last time I was with him, he was, he's playing. I'm telling him, be careful. He's getting a little out of control. He falls and bumps his head. Now me, because of the world that I grew up in, I laughed. He bumped his head. I'm like, see, I told you. Not hysterical or anything, but I just laughed and I said, I'm laughing. I'm like, you see, this is what I warned you about. You got to be careful. He then turned his back to me so that he can cry without me seeing. Bro, that was heartbreaking because immediately it's like you're bullying him. Immediately it was, God forbid anything more significant happen in life, is he going to feel like he can't come to you?
He can't come to you.
You know what I mean? I had to immediately check myself and think about what I needed to unlearn. So yeah, him bumping his head was funny to me, but let me laugh about this a week from now.
Right.
Because I'm going to still laugh, but I should have just saved my laugh. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I want him to feel comfortable showing his emotions. And I immediately got on the floor with him, just, rubbing him on his back. Let it out. Let it all out. You'll be okay, but let this out for right now. Because these are the things that I've had to now learn as an adult. But if he can get it now, imagine the world that he'll be in 20 years from now. You know what I mean?
And that's something that that kind of it's always a smooth transition, bro, with you. But it's just giving the importance of really allowing for our friends, giving our friends and family a safe space.
Yeah.
Right? I've been a big this is something that I've always harped on, is really giving our friends and family a safe space to really express themselves, to show vulnerability, because vulnerability is power. Many people feel like showing emotion is this thing that, like, I gotta be a man, and being a man means, can't be vulnerable. And even there's some women out there too who feel like, I can't show emotion because it makes me weak. But vulnerability is power. And a lot of people really don't really understand how powerful that really is, to allow yourself to say, hey, like, I feel this and I'm going to express that I actually feel this. You know what I'm saying? And people don't really realize that, especially when you're healing, sometimes the healing is worse than the wound.
Absolutely.
Right. But that's all a part of just being vulnerable and allowing your friends, like what Cordell did for you, right? What you did for your little brother, you know what I'm saying? After you realize, hey, listen, oh snap, like, he just turned his back to me because he feels like he can't be that way around me, right? Where now, I'll give you credit, because guys, men from like your father's era, my father's era, like, yo, what you crying for? Toughen up, right? And years of that makes the guy tend to shut down. And then we wonder why now when he gets into relationships, 15, 20 years later, or whatever the case is, right? He doesn't know how to communicate because he was never given the permission to communicate in the first place, because he's always being shut down. And then it's like, well, why does he, well, he's grown. Why doesn't he know how to express? Why doesn't he know how to communicate? Because I have a pretty face. It don't work. It don't matter. And it starts from when you're early.
Yeah, but the thing is that we were never given that. So now it's starting for us while we're late. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like you said, what you crying for? And me, I was always like, I'm a crier. I can sit here and watch a good commercial right now. A tear might drop. But the thing, like, in all honesty, but the thing for me is that where the toughness had to kick in was the fact that, people know bro, on my block growing up, all right, well, cool. If I get mad enough, I'm gonna start crying. That's when people,
Hmm.
oh, look at him, he's crying now. You know what? Now I gotta slam you on your neck. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Hmm.
even with me learning to be comfortable with being a crier, it didn't come from a healthy, organic place. It came from
Right.
like, so what if I cry? What you gonna do about it? You know
Right.
what I mean? So now at this age, at the age of 32, and it's like, all right, yeah, I still find myself in certain moments like, all right, cool. When I express vulnerability, is it genuinely is it coming from a healthy, organic place, or is
Right.
it coming from that what you gonna do about it place? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Hmm.
So when it comes down to like the world that we're trying to have this next generation coming in, like my brother, I want
Right.
it to come from that I'm expressing myself and it's okay. Not the I'm expressing myself because ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it anyway type of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. You want it to come from just an organic and a healthy place without being combative.
Exactly.
Because you want it to be natural. Like, yo, it's just a natural emotion for me,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's just
Yeah.
completely natural. I don't have to be like, yo, like, if I cry, I'm gonna have to, beat somebody up because I'm crying. It's just like, no, like this is natural. And I think that's what I'm saying. It's so important to really give our family and friends, um, that safe space to say, yo, if you need to let off, then you can let off on me. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
saying be toxic with it, where you
Yeah.
coming to
Yeah.
me every 5 minutes with it. But if you are going through something, like you have a safe space right here, you know what I'm saying, so that we can talk, you can unpack. I don't even have to, I like giving on advice and stuff like that. But here's the thing, you can just talk and I'll listen.
Yeah.
Some people don't even want the hoopla. They don't even want the advice. They want to just have a place to let it out, you know what I'm saying, and be heard and be
Yep.
seen and to be understood and overstood. And I think that's something that's super important because there's nothing like somebody that understands and overstands you. So that it feels like, man, it feels like home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It feels like, man, like I feel safe. And when somebody feels safe, a lot of times they could unpack in a healthier way.
But you want
You
to
know what
know
I'm saying?
something?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
talk to me.
because us expressing ourselves and because us unpacking is so foreign in a lot of different ways, does it really feel like a safe space? It doesn't feel like a new space.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I
Mm-hmm.
remember the first time I went to therapy as an adult. I remember like had a great first session, and right after the session was over, she's like, "All right, well, time is up," and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"The fuck? Can I get a hug or something?" Like I'm emotional. Like what's up? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the space didn't necessarily feel safe, but it felt new. It
Right.
throughout time it became a safe space, but because me expressing and bringing up all these, these skeletons to this person, it was a new space, but it didn't necessarily feel safe at the moment. It felt unusual. It felt
Right.
out of the ordinary. It didn't feel like home because home for a lot of people, and I'm gonna use myself as an example, home for
Right.
me is self-sabotagement, depression,
Yep.
anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
beating myself
Mm-hmm.
up, talking like I mentioned earlier, talking negatively to myself instead of building myself up. That is home for me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to now move into the new home of, all right, well, Ron, you good, bro. All right, cool. You stayed up later than you should yesterday. Now you're tired. Don't beat yourself up about it. You're human. It'll
Mm-hmm.
happen. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But those other things, those other places, that's home for so many people. We would like
Right.
for it to be the healthy places, but those other places, that's home.
Right. And so Jen said, not being able to express emotion builds pressure and pressure bust pipes. You already know. I like that reference. Said
Yeah,
tears
I
are healing
immediately
and
just thought
natural.
about Jay-Z's lines.
Yeah, 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 definitely, definitely. Shout out to Jen for that. Um, and so on Facebook, yeah, my boy Ali says sometimes people just need to vent, and that's really really true. Shout out to Pam too. Um, so I think we also have to start asking our friends different questions.
Absolutely.
Um, because that whole hey, how you doing? It's like an automatic. I'm good, right? It's like yeah, I'm good. It's just that's just the way. It's just natural. It just seems like that's just the way that we've been going for years, right?
Yep.
Like oh yo Ron, yo, how you doing, bro? Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. All right, cool. and then you move on, right? And where it blew my mind was where one of my friends hit me with a question, I think it was last year, and she was like, yo, T, I gotta ask you something. And I was like, yo, what's up? She goes, yo, how's your soul doing today? I said, my soul. I said, damn. I said, well, that's a loaded question.
So
And
you're
shit,
trying to fuck me up with
yo,
that one.
shit, nah, it made me stop and think, right?
Yeah,
Like, yo, how am I doing? Like, how am I doing?
yeah,
Right? Because I got to be able to answer this question. Like, and it made me think, and those are just certain types of questions, like the questions that you asked me. Hey, bro, on a scale from 1 to 10, yo, how's your mental health doing, man? Yo, how you doing emotionally, mentally, spiritually? Yo, how are you doing on a scale from 1 to 10? Now I got to think about and answer that question, right? Um, versus just the standard, yo, bro, yo, how you doing?
yeah. Someone just commented, how do you learn to
Hmm.
communicate better or get comfortable with it when you naturally hide emotions and feel guilty for feeling away? So
Hmm. Okay.
I'm not sure who that person is, but definitely a great question. If I could offer anything, I would say just by giving it a shot.
Hmm.
Like I was just mentioning, like things like guilt and everything like that, those are home for us. Those are the things that we're used to. But if you just give it a shot to, yeah, just someone that you trust, maybe it's a parent or whatever, give it a shot. Just give them a call. Tell them, hey, I'm not doing well today, and see the
Hmm.
response that you get. I think you'll be surprised just how much people do love you and how much people are willing to listen. You know what I mean? Like I
Hmm.
said, my bro Cordell, I don't know if he's still on, but he was on earlier. I'm 32. We've been best friends since we were 8. It
Hmm.
wasn't until our 30s where it's like, yeah, bro, I'm not doing well. And his
Hmm.
immediate response, this person who I've been, best friends with since 8, his immediate response was, well, why didn't you call me? Why have you been
Hmm.
suffering in silence? Because the thing is, what we don't realize, especially while we're in those moments, is that people would much rather sit here and listen to our problems, listen to us vent, than sit here and have to listen to our eulogy. You know what
Talk
I
about
mean?
it.
And that
Hmm.
shit is so important, and we don't think about it. You know what I mean? People would
Hmm.
much rather listen to our problems and listen to our eulogy. And it's important that we sit here and start trusting the people around us. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
important that we start trusting the people around us, giving them the shot. You know what I mean? If I trust you enough to have drinks with you, get impaired, and get back home safely, if I can trust you enough to sit here and alter my body, I can sit here and trust you enough to, like, all right, let me open up. Let me see how this works. Let me see if you really are my bro. Let me see if you really are my sis. Let me give it a shot.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, if I give it a shot and it works out, you know what? Outside of somebody like a therapist or whatever, you just gave yourself another connection to release those things. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You gave yourself another avenue to sit here and get that pressure off of yourself. You know what I mean? We do such a
Hmm.
good job beating ourselves up. Bro, it was like 4, maybe 5 weeks ago. I'm with Cordell. We're sitting outside his building smoking cigars, and the encouraging things that he was saying about me, like the way he views me of being this go-getter, being this hustler, being this person who's always been focused and everything. Bro, I didn't expect to hear it from him. I didn't expect to hear that from anybody. I didn't,
Hmm.
because, like we discussed earlier, I'm normally the person that I'm the one that does that. So
Exactly.
to get it from someone, it's like, damn, this is what you think of me? Wow, that's
Hmm.
crazy. I didn't even know I had that impact on anyone's life like that. Of course,
Right.
like my students, new students, former students, and everything like that. Yo,
Yep.
shout out, bro. Um, but to hear it from someone that that shit could be life changing.
Hmm.
That shit could be life changing. You go home and look at yourself in the mirror, and it's like, you know what? I do work really hard. I am a hustler. I
Hmm.
am a go getter. Everything that I say I'm going to do, I do. It may not happen in the time frame that I want it to happen, but I get it done. It
Right.
may not happen on my time, but it's going to happen on God's time. And when it does happen on His time, that's where people are going to get that sort of view of me, that sort of
Hmm.
perception of me, that sort of value toward me of being this person. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that was a long-winded answer to the question, but just trust the people around you, give them a shot to love on you.
And I second that. Um, I'm not gonna go, what I mean, because you kind of said it all, but
I
if
done
I
got
could
my
add
I
just
done got myself all worked up and hot.
hey, So if I could just say, you know, when it comes to just communicating your feelings, yes, definitely give it a shot, but you don't have to, it's like Ron said, but like you don't have to jump into the deep end, you know what I'm saying, and just letting it all out, you know what I'm saying, but just start little by little, you know what I'm saying, just really start with this person, find somebody that you think that's in your circle that you can trust, you know what I'm saying, and just say, hey man, I'm going through a little something, can we talk? You know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah.
because what I've realized is, especially working with the youth, like there are kids that are literally they're 16 years old and they already have 10 years worth of built up strife and stress and anger within them already at the
Yeah.
age of 16 that they've been living with. So
Yep.
what do you think that's going to look like by the time they're 36, right? And stress is a silent killer. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about if you from 6 to
It ain't
36, you
silent.
have,
You see the gray hairs coming
yeah.
in, bro? They not silent, man. They out here.
But it's something to where, man, like heart attacks are real, aneurysms are real, like, this heart attacks and all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Health issues are real, and that comes from years of strife and stress that you've never released. You know what I'm saying? What happens when a sink is clogged? What happens when the sewer is clogged? What happens when your pipes are just really clogged? You know what I'm saying? Like you have to let it out at some point. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Or if not, if you keep everything inside, it's toxic. It's going to be a toxic situation. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like you've got to be able, you know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you like this, anybody on this live right now, if you ain't got nobody to talk to, you can DM me, we can have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have avenues of where people that you can trust. You know what I'm saying? And people that will just be there to listen or advise, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got to be able to to say, hey, you know what? I'm going through something. I need to let this off. Because it's like trauma builds on trauma, builds on trauma, on top of trauma, on top of trauma, on top of trauma. And guess who's getting into relationships with all these trauma?
And that's when trauma becomes home.
Right.
We
You know what I'm
we
saying?
talk about toxic relationships. You end up in a toxic relationship with yourself.
Because you already started off in the red or with yourself. Now you're intertwined with somebody that has
Yep.
all 30 years of baggage, 30 years of toxicity, 30
Yep.
years of just things that they haven't let off. You know what I'm saying? And that's a girl or a guy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I'm not gonna keep on that, but you answered it perfectly, bro. So you touched on like self-sabotage a little bit, bro.
Yeah.
I had an interesting conversation, I think it was around the end of last year, surrounding self-sabotage. And, you know, again, this goes back to what the question was, like, how do you know if you should start communicating? The benefits of communicating and expressing yourself is you don't know the value that you're about to receive from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Because, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and she was like, yo, like, bro, like you way too humble. And I'm like, well, I am a humble person. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
always have been. And she said, yo, but there's a difference between being humble, you know what I'm saying? But to where you just don't even celebrate where you don't celebrate you at all.
Yeah.
And you don't even realize the great stuff that you're doing out there in this world. You don't even take the time to even say, yo, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like you're making a mark. And she goes, yo, do you know what you tell? Like, do you know? She said, yo, do you know what you sound like to me whenever you talk to me about the stuff that you've done? She goes, yo, you run by it. Like you just go, oh yeah, I did this. Yeah, cool, blah, blah, blah. She was like, hold up, let's rewind. You just told me 5 different dope things that you've done, and you are bypassing it like as if it's nothing. And she's like, yo, she goes, let me ask you something. She said, if you went in there to pitch somebody on yourself, she was like, if you sound like this, they're not going to be impressed because you aren't even impressed with you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
But
what? I was like, damn.
but
Yeah,
you want
like I'm gonna just say this
go
last
ahead,
thing
bro. Take your time.
because she was like, yo,
Like a
like you've
pastor at
got to,
church. Take your time, pastor.
yeah, nah, because she was like, yo, like you've got to be able to recognize your greatness or nobody else will, and we've been conditioned to always be humble. We've been conditioned that, oh, like no, Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you. She goes, no, I want to talk about you. I want to talk about your accomplishments. Like, can we stop right here? It's not a, she goes, yo, you can't blow through this red light. You got to stop here and talk about it. And I was like, well, damn.
But
Okay.
the crazy thing about it, a lot of times when people think about the term toxic masculinity, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
when they think about the term toxic masculinity, they think about the man being angry. They think about the man in some sort of enraged, the anger is there, or, he's a
Mm-hmm.
chauvinist. So that's just toxic masculinity. People don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
like what you just said, that stems from toxic masculinity. No, I don't
Mm-hmm.
deserve to get praised. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you get an A and come. I know when I used to get good grades and come home from school, like I'm expecting a prize from my mother. It's like, why would I reward you for doing what you're supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
But as a man, grinding, hustling, making sure I have multiple streams of income, making sure that my family's provided for. That's what I'm supposed to do. So we're taught we're not supposed to get praised for it. We're taught we're not supposed to get praised for all the things that we're doing, but at the same time, that then teaches us not to praise ourselves, not to give ourselves
Mm-hmm.
credit.
Right.
And that goes into the self-sabotagement to where you start talking
Mm-hmm.
down on yourself, to where you start beating yourself up more. You know what I mean? Like I was talking with someone and I was telling them like the importance of like affirmations, saying certain things about yourself. You know what I mean?
Big
Like
time.
one of the things that I've been insecure about my entire life, and then even now I'm still insecure about them, is like my physical appearance, my looks. You know what I mean? And when I say it, sometimes people are like, "What? You serious? What the?" You know what I mean? But it's just
Mm-hmm.
the way I feel about myself, the way I beat myself up. You know what I mean? But people don't understand the power of the words "I am."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And even if I take it to a spiritual standpoint, you know what I mean? The words I
Mm-hmm.
am, right? I forgot the exact scripture, but it was Moses talking to God when he appeared to him. It's in Exodus. I'm sorry. Um, he said, well, when they asked me what's your name, what should I say? God said, I am what I am.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am, right? So
Mm-hmm.
God is our provider. He's always going to provide, right? So if I sit here and say, damn, I'm broke right now. I am broke. The minute I say I am, God is sitting here looking at me like, what's up? I'm ready for you, son. What you need? Broke. Damn, you sure that's what you want? All right, there you go. Damn, I'm depressed. You want that too? All right, there you go. I'm gonna give you everything you say because it's the minute you say I am, you've called my name. You've called my name. You have my attention. It's like if I were to sit here and if we were both in the same room, but you on the other side, and I say, yo, Terrence, you're either wait, you're gonna turn around, you're ready to
Mm-hmm.
receive direction, ready to
Mm-hmm.
receive a question, you're ready. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna give me your attention. The minute we say I am, God gives us his attention. And the minute we say something like, damn, I'm going through it right now. You really want to go through it? I'm gonna deliver it to you. But the minute we start using words of affirmation, and especially us as
Mm-hmm.
Black people, because of the generational trauma of us being told that we're less than, the minute we start saying affirmations like, damn, I'm sexy today. Damn, I'm looking good today. Damn, I'm smart as fuck. Damn, the minute we start saying I am followed by something positive, the way our lives would change, bro. People don't understand the
Mm-hmm.
power of the words I am. People don't understand the power of positive affirmations on your life, on your being, on the people around you. You know what I mean? People don't
Mm-hmm.
understand it, but those positive affirmations, bro, they're so important, so important. And this and there's and there and to bring it back to the original point in regards to like going against self-sabotagement, if we start utilizing more words of affirmations, we won't the self-sabotagement will start to diminish to the point where we'll think so highly of ourselves it'll be ridiculous, bro.
Mm-hmm. And that's 100% true, bro. Because earlier when we talked about giving the same grace, giving the same grace that you give to others to yourself, right? You know what you give to others? Encouragement, right? Like you would never, like you would tell your boy, yo, oh, you're dope, you're smart, you're incredible, you're this, you're that. You would tell that to your boy, right? Or your friend or whoever needs it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not show, or why not give yourself the same grace and tell those same things to you?
I
You know what
mean,
I'm saying?
because
Like
that's we're
that's
taught not to do it. That's why, and that's why I said
exactly.
the world when it comes down to the world that they try that we were prepared for. Our parents, they did the best job that they could. You got to commend
Of
them for it.
course.
But they prepared us
Absolutely.
for the world that they saw at the time. The world that we're living in is
Right.
so different. When the fuck do you ever
Hmm.
see two men sitting down having conversations like this? You know what I mean? When do you
Hmm.
see two black men sitting down having conversations like this? When do you see two men of any sort of descent? You know what I mean?
Right.
This goes
Yeah,
against our masculinity. You know what I
it
mean? This
does.
goes against, everything that we were taught. My father is 60 something years old. We're just now starting to have these conversations within like the last 5 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're just now
Hmm.
growing comfortable having these conversations and pouring into each other and everything like that. Like
Hmm.
I'll go visit him and he's expressing and telling me things and even forgetting about his masculinity. Now see where I get it from, where I'm a crier because he's a crier.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's
Hmm.
like,
And that's how you know that you're breaking those generational cycles of dysfunction is
yep,
when you start seeing your elders doing the things that you're doing and following your example and following your lead.
yep,
You know what I'm saying?
yep.
Because
And
it's
that's and
it's
that's why
definitely difficult.
it's important that we push that and instill that in our younger generations because, bro, I'll be damned if my baby brother ever turned his back to cry while he's right next to me again. That was
Hmm.
heartbreaking. I can't allow him to feel shame for something so
Hmm.
natural and so organic. You know what I mean? And the fact that he felt it at 6, bro, that's ridiculous. I
Right.
was ashamed.
Hmm.
I should have laughed.
And
Like I said, I'm gonna laugh regardless, but I should have saved my laugh for like an hour later or
mhm.
something. You know what I mean?
And I think that we've weaponized emotion, right? So I think we feminized everything. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, if he cries, it's like, all right, we'll stop being a girl, or he's not masculine. You know what I'm saying? But that's farthest from the truth. We feminize everything in this world,
Because
right? Like
emotions were taught to be female things. That they
a
belong to
female trait.
females. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then you wonder why there's a whole generation, every generation of men, boom, 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 year by year, generation by generation of men who are emotionally broken, who are emotionally bound up, don't know how to communicate. And then you criticize them for it, but that's the way it was. And everything from the old is supposed to be great. Everything from
Yeah.
the old schools is supposed to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from there is from those eras are supposed to be just gospel. And it's like, no, there were some great things that happened back in the day, like your grandmama, your dad, your great grand, like that's all love, and they've done the best they could. But at some point, if you want men to be different, if you want men to be different, if you want to be able to communicate with the man, if you want to be able to have a man to be able to express himself in a healthy way, not just when he's pissed off, then there has to be a break in that cycle.
Yeah.
There
Absolutely.
has to be a break in that to where that the only possible emotion that he can express is anger,
Yeah.
and then that's acceptable.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So we've got to, figure this out to where it's just, and it starts with conversation like this, conversation of the heart. It's got to start. You know what I'm saying?
And
It's got to start.
bro, hold up, because I'm not gonna let you get away with it. I'm gonna sing your praises because when you said, let them know that Conversations of the Heart are on multiple different platforms and they can find this joint everywhere, bro.
Come
Stop
on,
playing
come
with
on,
it.
man.
Stop
Stop
playing
playing
with it.
with me, man.
Stop playing.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not
Yo,
doing this with you today.
it's funny that you said that because I found out today that like when I started this whole thing, I found out this week that like 73% of my viewership on the audio platforms that I'm on is from the United States. I was thinking it was supposed to be like more like 99.9%, right? And 20% of my viewership is in France. You know what I'm saying? Like
Wow.
I didn't even know that, right? And some is in Ireland, stuff like that, right? Cheers, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
Man, you better put that water down. I ain't chipping with you no water.
man, you ain't telling me who's gonna sip today. You
I
ain't you
I
you ain't
I,
telling me
I came prepared so I could sit down for an hour.
that. You ain't even tell me that, brother. Next time tell me, I'm gonna sit with you. But yeah, man, like it's just one of those things, bro, where I wanted to create something that you know, we can have these type of conversations and be vulnerable, and not just to me and you, to ourselves, that we can be vulnerable to people. You know what I'm saying? And that they can see that these are stuff that we go through.
Yeah.
You go to therapy. I've gone to therapy, right? You've been depressed. I've been depressed. I journal. You cry. like it's all normal, right? Um, and that's why I wanted to create this type of platform so that we could talk about difficult subjects, so that we could talk about these things, and we could be vulnerable with each other, and so we
Yeah.
could set an example for the youth. You know, a lot of my friends' kids watch this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And this is why I created the platform for this. Again, not harping on myself. I'm just saying I want more conversations
See,
like this.
but hold up.
I just did it. I
You
know.
just
I
did it.
just did
You
it.
just did it.
I know I just did it. I know. See, I caught myself though.
Mm-hmm.
um,
And
you
it's
know,
and but what
yeah, go
the
ahead.
fact that you caught yourself, that's the important part, bro. Because
Yep.
there's so many times, man. We'll put ourselves into a depression because all the good things that are happening in our lives, we brush it off as if it doesn't matter. And
Right.
we need to start. Bro, over the past, like, I want to say since December, more so January, learning learning how to speak positive things over my life, bro, has changed things so tremendously. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
changed things in a way to where God has been blessing me, and I was beating myself up today because it's like God has given me these blessings, but I haven't felt like I'm stewarding them enough. So it's like, yeah, now I feel like I got to be back to like, all right, I'm grinding 20, 21 hours a day, only sleeping for 3 and this, that, and the third. And if I fall short of that, I beat myself up. And it's like,
Right.
yeah, no, the fact that God gave you the blessings and everything like that, when he gave them to you, he already knew what you were going to do to yourself. He factored all of that in. Be nicer to yourself. Give yourself those praises. Appreciate the things that you've done and the
Mm-hmm.
things that you're doing, bro. The fact that you just sat here and said, yo, I got people in France listening, like hearing my voice. Come on, bro. You want to talk about a 1%. We ain't in the 1% financially yet,
Mm-hmm.
but the 1% of having a voice worldwide, bro, that's, you know what I'm saying? So continue to catch yourself while you're doing it. Give yourself those praises, bro, because you deserve it, man. And as your brother, man, I'm going to do my part in making sure that you do it, to making sure that who you are, you get those praises, you get built up, you get, one of my mentors, Ivan Marty, man, he's a phenomenal man. Times where I felt like I couldn't even get out of bed, he would be on FaceTime with me, just building me up. You know what I mean? And as brothers, that's what's most important, man. Shout out to Ivan Marty, brother. You know what I mean? But as your
Yeah.
brother, I'm gonna do it to you as well, bro. I'm going to sing your praises. You know what I mean? I was just with you last weekend. What happened? It wasn't like, yo, this is Terrence. Nah, this is Terrence. He does X, Y, and Z, A through D, and you know what I'm
That's a
saying?
fact.
Flip it around, and
Yeah.
you can even add the you know what I'm saying, the animals on the fucking farm to it as well. He does it all. I'm gonna sing those praises, bro. You know what I mean? And you got to sing your own praises too.
And that's a fact, Jack. Um, and that's how. It's like I said, and those are the things that's gonna help us start to break these generational dysfunctional curses, bro.
Yeah,
On all levels, for mental health, for emotional health, for spiritual health, and financial.
yeah,
Like these are the things, what I'm saying, and it starts with people like you. It starts with platforms like this. You know what I'm saying? And it starts because people don't really know what you go through to get to where you got it. Like they don't really know how far you've come. Like people see me now in the last 5 years. Like I've spoken at colleges, spoken at universities. I have this platform. I've gone to speak to kids. And they're like, man, that's great. You're doing a bunch of cool things. Like you're out there speaking. I was like, do you know what it took for me to get here, bro? Like I had a speech impediment at 4 years
I'm about
old.
to say we
Like
don't
people
know, bro.
don't
Tell us.
like what I'm like. It's just things that made me depressed and have anxiety. Like I had a speech impediment since I was 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it lasted all the way until I was about 28. And then at the age of 28, like you couldn't get me to even speak in front of anybody. Like it gave me anxiety to the point where like my head got hot, I got sweaty. It was depressing. Like,
Yeah,
and it was hard for me until I hit like 28 years old and I had to retrain myself how to speak. And and these are things that people don't really know. Like what it took for you to get here. So when you see me speaking in different places and you see me doing the public speaking thing, it ain't it wasn't easy because I hated it. It
Yeah.
gave me anxiety. It was embarrassing. I didn't want to talk to nobody about it. You know what I'm saying? But once I flipped the switch and I made the changes to do certain things. Now you see the fruits of that. But
Yeah.
most of my life, I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to talk to a soul. Someone public speaking. You know, you in school, you got project. I say, yo, I'll do the project, bro. I will do the project. Just please present it.
Yeah.
Please, God, present this project because I don't want to talk. You know what I'm saying? And these are things that have changed drastically in the last 7 years of my life. To now, I'm heading up training classes, doing workshops, doing this stuff with you. There's how I could never do this with the world to see or for everybody to see. And
Yeah.
for people can say things, like it just wouldn't have happened, bro. So that's why it's so important that you do sing yourself like praises and stuff like that because only you know what it took for you to get to this point.
Hmm.
Only you know what you've been through.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I
Um,
mean,
yeah, man, go ahead, bro.
no, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, so we got a few minutes left. Um, Kind of just want to touch on briefly, like just the differences between a loss and a lesson. Because people say they always be taking L's, oh, he took an L, and it's like a loss. But I never view a loss as a loss. I always view it as a lesson. You know what I'm saying? It's a lesson that's going to propel you. So even if you did quote unquote lose something, the lesson from that is going to propel you to the next level. It's going to propel you for the next steps, and whatever steps that might be in your life, right? Now, I'm not talking about death. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm
No, no.
talking
I know
about,
exactly what you're talking about.
I want to be clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking about just that point of reference where it's like, man, like I lost out on that opportunity or on that job or on that business or on that relationship or whatever that loss might be for you. But the lesson is so much bigger than the loss because it's going to
Hmm.
propel you to where you need to be.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, because I definitely, you know, it's all in all the music now. Everyone has a meme, a
Mm-hmm.
caption. Oh, no losses, just lessons. For me,
Mm-hmm.
there's always a lesson there, but I've taken losses. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them deliberately. Some of them, like I said, comes from self-sabotagement. But I've taken losses. There's a lesson that comes along with it, but there's a loss. Who knows how many opportunities to be on a bigger screen I've missed out on because, oh, well, I thought this role wasn't good for me, so I just didn't want to do it. Or maybe I was just lazy, or maybe I was going through
Mm-hmm.
something and I just did not push myself in order to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I sat here and watched the Wu-Tang series on Hulu.
I
I
saw my watch
auditioned,
list, by the way.
do it. But bro, I
Mm-hmm.
auditioned for it and got the role. I never showed up. Not that I didn't show up to like set. I didn't show up to like the follow-up meetings, like the follow-up meeting and the table read, because I was beating myself up. I wasn't being nice enough to myself. Now here they are renewed for season two. I would have been a series regular. That's a loss. I'm okay. I can admit
Mm-hmm.
I took a loss. Yes, of course, there's a lesson that comes along with it, but you took an L. Acknowledge it. Don't judge. Don't. I can't just brush those off. I can't just push those aside. No, I took an L. I
Mm-hmm.
did. I don't know if God is going to provide that opportunity again. For him, it may have been like, well, that was your opportunity for that portion of your life, but I got so many more in other, areas of your life. I have no idea, but that's an L, and I have to accept it as an L. Yes, there's absolutely a lesson. The lesson is be nicer to yourself, get out of your fucking head, show the fuck up. That's why every day
Mm-hmm.
I'm brushing my teeth. Brushing my teeth is one of my favorite things because I love that feeling, that first inhale after that in the mouthwash, that cool feeling. I love it. And right after that cool feeling, literally, and I've been doing this for about 4.5 weeks now. You's a bad motherfucker. Who gonna tell me different? I'm a bad motherfucker. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? But
Yeah.
by utilizing the words of affirmation, by recognizing that I do have the habit to self-sabotage, by recognizing and putting action to changing a lot of those narratives, I'm okay taking a loss. And I know that if the opportunity ever presents itself again,
Mm.
it's going to turn out completely different. And there'll still be a lesson that comes along with it. But
Mm-hmm.
like any boxing match. When I get the rematch and I win, all right, cool. Don't worry about that L no more because now you got one.
Right. It's definitely a dope perspective on that. And we got about 4 more minutes left. I think the biggest thing is for me when it comes to breaking these things, to breaking these dysfunctional curses and things like that, these generational gaps that is with us. I think we really have to get to a point to where we can be honest,
Yeah,
truly honest with ourselves, right? Like we've got to be able to sit with ourselves and also hold ourselves accountable too. You know what I'm saying? I think accountability is key. Yes, this is how your forefathers did things. This is how your father did things. This is how your grandfather did things. But now you know better. So
yeah,
what are you gonna do?
yeah,
Right? You know what I'm saying? Accountability to me, is absolutely key in everything that we do. So I'm gonna continue to have, of course, these types of conversations, you know what I'm saying? Because we
absolutely.
know better.
Yeah,
Like you know better, I know better, and iron always sharpens iron. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the biggest thing is also to get around people who value the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? Like not everybody's built the same. Like Cordell, like he loves physical fitness, right? Like my strength is reading, self-help, self-motivation, you know what I'm saying? Like mental health, emotional health. Like I have to work myself up to kind of go back into the gym, right? To work out, to run. Like I'm not a runner. I don't like running on the treadmill. That's not my thing, right? But getting around somebody like that, you know what I'm saying, is kind of what you need to do to sharpen that, right? Because you don't have every tool in the toolbox yet. So it's
absolutely.
really just getting around different people who you say, yo, you know what? That person right there is going to motivate me to be better in this. And
Yeah,
I could probably motivate him to be better in this too. And now we're sharpening each other. You know what
yep,
I'm saying?
absolutely.
Not everybody's going to have it all together, bro. Um, and that's just kind of where we're at. I think, all right, cool. We got a couple more minutes left, bro. Listen, I do want you to tell the people what new projects you got coming out, what you working on real quick for the people who didn't join. You know what I'm saying? Early, just let them know where they can find you. Let them know the projects you're working on because you're doing some amazing things. You've been a youth advocate, philanthropist, always cared about the youth. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to definitely give you your flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like you've been an amazing person, bro. You know what I'm saying? Doing
I
some amazing
appreciate it.
things in your community, bro. You've always stood 10 toes down. You know what I'm saying? You've always been solid, bro. And you've been doing some amazing features, films, producing, creating. You know what I'm saying? But yo, go ahead.
You can definitely find me on Instagram, at Y_RESTS. You know, you can definitely find me on Facebook, Ronald E. Smith II. I have a film Beater that's coming out. If you're looking for work that you can watch right now, um, Beast Season Films, with the Timeless Guilt series, A Blast Films with Bittersweet series. I'm working on another series, DNA, that I'm starring in. I just filmed another series out in Ohio a few months ago, that should be dropping. I'm doing another film within a couple months. One called The Curse Within, the other called Friday and Friday. So there's a lot of work out there that's already happening. And there's a lot of work that is happening. God is
I'm
good. You know what I
I'm
mean? So
losing track.
shout out to Theo White. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I drove to Ohio so I can go film that series, man. And he starred in it. Dope actor, phenomenal person too. So shout out to you, Theo.
All right, yo, listen. We gonna do this again as we always do. We gonna definitely do this again. Chop it up with you, bro. I appreciate you doing this with me. We gonna do this again. Keep being amazing. Keep being great. And just as from me, you can catch this on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio.com. Look out for that Tillman Unlimited
You
collection. It's
you
coming out
better
really, really
go
soon.
ahead and list the
You know what I'm saying? We
credentials,
gonna,
bro.
gonna
You
get this
better go
rolling,
ahead and
baby.
list those
Yes,
credentials.
sir. Yo, we gonna do this again, brother. But yo, I appreciate
Most
you,
definitely.
man. I love everything you stand for, bro. Yo, man, it's all love, bro. Thank you, bro.
Always, bro. Always.
All right, fam. Yo,
All right.
listen, peace. Thank y'all for tuning in. Facebook,
Yo,
IG.
I love you,
Peace,
bro.
y'all.
I love
Love
you,
you
bro.
too, bro.
All right.
Always, bro. All right,
Always.
fam.
All
All
right.
right. Peace.
Peace.
And that's a wrap. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Love having conversations like this. Tune in next week, see who we got. Yo, listen, man. It's episode 8, season 2. Appreciate y'all. Merch is coming soon. Chill.